Happy Camper Radio.
It is the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 274. Happy New Year to everybody. We're still in the New Year mode, aren't we, Daniel?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, for sure. On the show today, we're going to be talking about RV repair and doing it yourself. And guess what I did this past week, Daniel?
You did it yourself.
I did it myself. I got that refrigerator situation all worked out, but I tell you what, I come across a few things that I wasn't very happy at looking at.
Oh, boy.
So I want to talk about that today and give you an idea of what you need to look forward to if you decide you're going to repair your own RV. Episode 274 of the Happy Camper Radio Show is coming at you right now. Stick around for it.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
And of course, the Happy Camper Radio Show, as always, can be heard all across the world by great listeners like yourself. You can find us on all the major podcast directories. Choose whichever one you want, and chances are you're going to find Happy Camper Radio right there. Just look for us in the search engine. Mm-hmm. We're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Check it out. All of our major podcast episodes that we've done. In fact, every single one of them we've done, dating back to 2013, can be found right there.
I've always wanted to go back in time. I've just been kind of nervous about it. It's just, I don't know, it's nerve-wracking to go back in time.
Well, Daniel, we've had so much fun doing this. You know, we can think about some of the episodes we did both in the studio, in the corner of a bedroom, out on the back patio.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you know what's funny? I don't know if you saw it or not, but we got a Facebook message a little while ago that's like, oh, I missed the old jingle back in the day. I was like, oh, you love the banjo music, don't you?
You love the banjo music.
I do love the banjo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this guy liked it though. So, shout out to that guy.
Yeah, you can hear that in the early days before we decide to professionalize.
Yes, and the campfire and everything.
Jingles. Yeah. Okay.
I like the campfire. We need to bring that back.
We might do that sometime.
I like that.
I still have that audio track on file.
Nice and calming.
I much prefer a real campfire.
Yes, definitely.
And I think the only way we're only going to be able to do that is if we're at the campsite.
Uh-huh.
All right. But we're going to work on that.
Yeah.
Okay. But hey, you can follow us on X. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Happy Camper Radio. And by all means, check us out in 4K by subscribing to our YouTube channel. All right. Well, Daniel, I am getting so pumped up now about the upcoming 2024 camping season.
Okay,
but at the same time, I have a little concern here. Because at the end of last year, and I may have spoken about this already, but it's becoming a real serious concern right now. There was an article that I read in a local TV website in their news section that the Army Corps of Engineers may be closing the campgrounds on Lake Lanier.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there is a concern about budget and the amount of money that they have available, not only one to handle the repairs, but also to maintain the campground.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got a dose of that the last time I went to Baldridge Creek, and I got my site up there. Site 45. I got to have that. It's right by the lake. But when I got there this time, the grass hadn't been mowed in a long, long time. Yeah. So I mean, I saw that they were lacking in maintenance there. But now they're talking about possibly closing the campground if they cannot get the local counties to partner with them to run and maintain the campgrounds.
Well, I wonder if they could put word out and get volunteers to do stuff like that, because that seems like a thing. I know Boy Scouts, because I was in the Boy Scouts. They do things. They do helping out the community service kind of stuff, and I'm sure you'd probably go up there to keep it open. You'd mow the grass, So I
don't think mowing the grass is going to be a problem, Daniel.
Yeah,
but
I'm just
still
saying,
got maintenance issues that got to be dealt with. I know the last time I was there, they were doing some major repair work on a bathhouse. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of things that have to be done. Now, I know for a fact that in Hall County, Lake Lanier completes, I think, a total of 3 counties.
Probably.
I think you've got Hall County, Forsyth County, and Dawson County It's a big lake.
I think a little bit in Gwinnett. I'm not sure, though.
No, I don't think it is. No.
Okay.
But I know for
It's
a fact
close.
that a couple of the campgrounds over in the Hall County side,
Mm-hmm.
they already went ahead and partnered with the Army Corps of Engineers to keep those campgrounds open.
Okay.
The very first campground that I went to when I bought my RV was the old Federal Campground.
Ah, yes.
Very beautiful up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, now if you go to the old Federal website, when you go to recreation.gov, they're going to direct you to the Hall County Department of Parks and Leisure,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to make your reservations there.
You know what we need to do? We need to talk to someone about this and see, like, if we can't get the word out, to maybe get someone to help, or get people to do something about this.
Yeah, and it concerns me a little bit because when I went to see what the schedule was for Baldridge Creek
Yeah.
for 2024, they don't even have any dates open yet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, everything is kind of on hold right now with them. But in Hall County, you go to their website and you make your reservations there. The good news is they still honor the America the Beautiful Senior Discount Access Pass. All right. The only
got the
problem
military
is, though, you still got to jump through a few hoops to get
is the
that
government.
discount. All right. But I think that even though the county may be stepping in, which it may be a good thing if it keeps the campgrounds open.
Exactly. Definitely.
All right, I don't really think that you're going to see much change in anything as far as the appearance of the campground, the way the campground is run. I think when you get to those campgrounds, you're going to see everything looking as it should. At least I hope so.
So while you're talking about this, actually, a while ago, it was about 7-8 years ago, I went down to Augusta with a friend of mine, and we went to the Disc Golf Hall of Fame because I like to play disc golf, and they have a campground there, and it's run by the county there, and it's really nice and everything. So I think they'll step up. I think everything will be all right.
It would really be nice if they do.
I think they will.
But I mean, and I love Lake Lanier because
Yes,
number
you
one
do.
is it is the closest to home. Not that I'm looking forward to being close to home, but it's easy to get to. It's about an hour away from here.
Yeah, there's a few other lakes you go to though.
Yeah, you got Lake Oconee up
Yep.
here. You got Lake Allatoona, which we talked about that right before the show, and the reason I want to go there. All right, but there's places you can go to. But Lake Lanier is beautiful. We talk it up on the program all the time, but I want to go ahead and put that out there. Just in the event, we do have some of our listeners who happen to be traveling into Georgia this year and want to go camping on Lake Lanier. Here's what you may have to be dealing with. Yeah, it's always good to go ahead and make your reservations, make them early, and get in there and just get out there and relax.
Well, if they have a lot of money, they could go to where we went for the boat show. They could go to that campground. That is high class. So what was it, Lake Lanier Islands?
Yeah, Lake Lanier, Margaritaville.
Yeah.
No, that's not a campground, though, Daniel.
They've got campgrounds there.
I didn't see any. But
Oh, really?
That's a great
It's expensive.
tourist attraction.
It's expensive.
It's one of those places you can go to if you have a pontoon boat.
Yep.
All right, and you're at a nearby campground on the lake. Just hop in your boat, go over to Margaritaville. You want to talk about a monstrous outdoor TV set?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they probably have a lot of good movies and things that they show during the summer months, and a lot of good shops there too.
Actually, now during the wintertime, they have I think they have snow tubing up there.
Oh, really?
And it's cold enough for it, that's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. Speaking of cold, Daniel, this is a great time of the year to be servicing your RV.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's the down season. It's cold outside.
Very
You're not
cold.
going to be doing any camping, and if your RV needs any kind of a maintenance overlook or something like that, this is the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked out great for me this past week. Because as I've talked to before, both on and off the show, I've had a problem with my refrigerator inside the RV. Now, it's not a mechanical problem with the refrigerator, but it's the way that the refrigerator is seated inside the RV, inside the cabinetry. I noticed this toward the end of last season that the 4 screws holding the bottom of the refrigerator in place apparently came loose, and the bottom of the refrigerator was rocking forward and backward.
Eesh.
And I know that wasn't right.
Right.
Okay, so I had to get in there and fix this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not the one that believes in taking your RV to the repair shop
No,
to get
you're
it
not.
done. All right.
DIY all day long.
If you can do it yourself, do it yourself, okay?
Yeah. Or if
Why
you have
pay
a kid next
somebody
door.
for a job that you can do yourself? Now, I know this may not be for everybody,
No.
but you're never too old to learn.
Absolutely.
Okay.
YouTube is a very good tool to learn
Amen
stuff.
to that.
I mean, actually, this isn't really a camping thing, but like a few weeks ago, me and you fixed the starter in my Honda, and we didn't know how to do it. We went on YouTube, and we eventually got it done. So,
That's sure thing.
and it's working great. It's amazing now.
Now, Daniel, I'll tell you, I went ahead and decided I was going to go ahead and do this project on my own.
Yeah.
I felt that I could do it.
Mhm.
All right. But I did not know how that refrigerator was seated in there.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, I can tell you the importance of reading your manuals that came with your RV. And if you don't have a manual that came with it, if you don't have a manual for the appliances inside your RV, go online and see if you can find them, because there's some very important information in there. And I'm going to touch on that again in just a little bit.
Okay.
But one of the things that I do, Daniel, anytime that I'm working on something, whether it's repairing the RV or something here around the house,
Mm-hmm.
I do exactly what my grandfather taught me to do.
Okay.
And this is something that no college or university could ever even come up with to
Okay.
help educate you on doing a project.
Uh-huh.
So many times when I was a youngster, I would go to visit my grandparents,
Okay.
and my grandfather was working on something, and he was sitting on this tiny little stool with his box of tools right next to him, and all he was doing was just looking at his work.
Uh-huh.
He sat there and looked at his work. Yeah, and I asked him one time, I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm looking at my work."
Right.
He said, "Before you do anything, sit there and look at your work.
Uh-huh.
See what you're getting into, and don't be in such a big hurry to get it done."
Yeah,
because
that's
where
my
you're going to
problem.
make that's where you're going to make mistakes.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what I did when I went out this past week and did the repairs inside my RV.
Yeah, the good thing about like stuff like that is now that we have smartphones and everything, we can take a picture of like what it looked like. So when we take it apart, we can look at it again and be like, okay, well, this was here, and so that's a really good tool too to take pictures of everything.
Sure. And
beforehand.
the first thing I did is I removed the grate that was below the refrigerator to see what was underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Daniel, let me point this out first of all, okay? I'm not here to throw rocks at Grand Design. They
boy.
built a beautiful RV,
Uh-huh.
okay? And they're well constructed and all. But what I did when I removed that grate, I looked inside there and I did not like what I saw.
Uh-huh.
All right. This refrigerator, it's a Furrion refrigerator. And, if you have a Grand Design RV, you're going to have Furrion products on the inside of it, whether it be a microwave oven, an air conditioning system, refrigerator, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I looked in there and I saw these tiny little boards with tiny little staples,
Uh-huh.
okay, holding the base plate of the refrigerator.
Wow.
And my heart sank into my stomach
Uh-huh.
for a couple of reasons. One, that refrigerator net weight is 125 pounds.
Yeah.
Think about the weight of the food that you're putting in that refrigerator.
Yeah,
You may be adding another 30 or 40 pounds to it.
At least.
Okay? I was not comfortable with what I was seeing.
Yeah.
I said, first of all, this has got to be reinforced. All right.
Yeah. Staples? That's ridiculous.
Right. Because here I am driving down the road. If this refrigerator were to fall to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
number one, it would ruin the cabinetry.
Yep.
Okay. Second of all, it would destroy the furnace system, which sits directly below the refrigerator.
Ugh.
All right.
Yeah.
And then probably the refrigerator would need repaired. The cost of this, Dan, would be astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I had to go in here and just, like I said, this is a great time of the year to go ahead and do these repairs.
Yep.
So I went ahead and I'm sitting there looking and I'm trying to figure out where the wiring is to this refrigerator. I don't see it beneath the refrigerator anywhere. It's got to be in the back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how is it connected? Well, just to the right-hand side. Now, I always get my rights and lefts mixed up. And this, because I'm sitting here at
You
the
do
console.
this.
Yeah.
Left is this.
All right. Now, if you're looking at the refrigerator, there's a small cabinet here off to your left.
Uh-huh.
All right. But inside there, on to the right of that, is your hot water system.
Okay.
You reach inside there and you're going to find yourself, Daniel, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll show it to you. You've got a big ball of wires. They're tied together with two wire ties.
Okay.
That is the stretch cable to your refrigerator. So when you pull the refrigerator out, you've got all this cable that's going to come right out with it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get it out there in the open and you get to turn it around, then you'll have access to that wiring on the back of your refrigerator.
Okay.
I figured that out right away. Now, what's holding this refrigerator in place is a total of 8 wood screws.
Okay.
4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. Now, Daniel, those screws are bolted into these panels.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel, this is not rear board, it's particle board.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's holding that refrigerator in place. 8 screws into particle board. Now I'm even more uncomfortable with this. Okay. No, we got to get this fixed, and we got to get it fixed right.
Yep.
All right. And again, like Daniel, like I said, I'm not an engineer, all right? I'm not pretending to be one. I do not have an engineering degree.
Mm-hmm.
What I do have is something a little more valuable than what a college education will give you.
Uh-huh.
And that's a bit of common sense.
Yep.
All right. If you look in and you see something that's not right, what do you got to do to fix it?
You got to change it.
All right. Well, I got the refrigerator out. Now, the good news here is if something does go wrong with that refrigerator and I've got to fix it, at least I know how to get it out.
Yep.
All right.
True.
And in getting that refrigerator out, after I removed those 8 screws and 4 of them at the bottom, Daniel, were already in bad shape.
Yeesh.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you here on our YouTube channel exactly what I was dealing with when I got those boards out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I took those panels out, and the wood was split.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, because of all the weight that was shifting.
Yeah.
Okay. But I managed to go ahead and get some good old wood glue and some brackets and seal them up real nice and tight, and probably made them a lot stronger than they were before they were even put in there. Now, I also want to add this too, and I'm going to talk about this at the end of this conversation here, why it's important to read those manuals, because when I got my RV, I read those manuals very, very thoroughly and carefully. It's always a good idea every now and then to go back and look at them again, because you may have read something at that particular time that was very important, but it wasn't registering up here.
Yeah.
Okay. And based upon what I saw, I may be partially to blame for the damages that were caused
Okay.
on this. And I'll talk about that here again in a second. But anyway, I went ahead and removed this refrigerator. And of course, I went ahead and put this blanket at the very bottom of the floor,
Uh-huh.
because I wanted to have that refrigerator to sit on something. The last thing I need is to drag that refrigerator
scratch
across
it
the
up.
floor and ruin the paneling or the tile that's there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did get it out. But here's the neat thing, Daniel. And again, it goes back to what my grandfather taught me about sitting there and looking at your work. How can you make this better? So I went ahead back into the tool shed here from a recent project. I save everything.
Yes, you do.
I always got, you never know when you're going to need something, okay, and you're going to have it. If you throw it away, then you got to go out and buy it all over again. You don't want to do that. Okay. So in this instance, Daniel, I went back to the tool shed, and I had some treated lumber back there.
Nice.
I had a bunch of 2x4s that were in very, very good shape, and I brought a couple of them up and run them right through the table saw, right down the middle. Okay, so I've got these 2x2s. Very strong, very sturdy. And I went ahead and I carefully measured, and I went ahead and put 4 legs in place right underneath the refrigerator to support it. In the event something did happen where that refrigerator fell, it's not going to fall on the hot water heater.
That's
okay,
good.
or not the hot water heater, but the furnace.
Right.
Okay, it's not going to cause any damage right there. And I went ahead and bolted them in place into the floorboards.
Nice.
Okay, so they're in there nice and sturdy. Now, I went ahead and also took another brace and put it in the front where I removed this tiny little board with the tiny little staples, and I put a bigger board in there and reinforced it with 5 wood screws right through the base.
Nice.
Okay, and I went ahead and secured that from the front with 2 lag bolts. And I tell you what, Daniel, it is rock solid now.
I bet it is.
It is rock
Sounds like
solid. And the best part about this is, it took me a whole week to do it.
Right.
And I took my time doing it.
Yep.
And I also took some breaks. It's like, you don't rush yourself. If you got this time of the year to do it, and you're not camping, and you're already sitting there, and you're retired,
like the T-shirt
then
says.
you go ahead and you get those repairs done.
Absolutely.
Okay? But the good part about this is, Daniel, number 1, the repairs are done. Okay? Number 2, the parts out-of-pocket expense, $4.20. What would
That's
this
awesome.
have cost you if you took your RV up to the dealership to have them do those repairs?
They wouldn't have done anything. They would have just like repaired like what you said was cracked a little bit. They wouldn't have reinforced it or anything. They wouldn't have done it to the level you did.
They would have had to have gone to the factory and ordered those boards.
Yep.
Your RV is sitting
Particle
there.
boards.
Yeah, the particle boards. Yeah, your RV would be sitting there.
Yep.
Then they would just go ahead and simply repair it to the specifications that were done at the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you do something yourself and you think you can do it better, all right, then go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did here.
Well, my problem with all this is like I was talking to Deidre about this earlier. It's like where do they think about weight and where do they think about like durability? Because I know a lot of people like all the campers you see nowadays is like hyper light, super light, mini light. Everything's light. But like, is it durable? Like I don't know how they weigh the pros and cons of it's light, but is it durable? So that's my big thing with campers nowadays.
Well, this again, Daniel, was sinking into my head the whole time I was doing this project because I'm trying to remember reading through these manuals some time ago and not recalling anything in there that tells you the weight capacity of the food that you're putting in your refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is there a limit to that? I don't recall seeing that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you put your food in before you leave,
Right.
and so you're bebopping down the road, going over Georgia roads that are not the best, and stuff's going up and down, and this stuff is screwed in the particle board. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
And
really.
here I go again, Daniel. I'm going to bring this up because I talked about it just a little bit ago.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I did put my food in the refrigerator. I had it chilled before I left. I had these ice packs in there to keep everything nice and cold. And it was nice and cold by the time I reached my destination.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't recall reading, Daniel, when I read the manual for that refrigerator, it tells you in there you should refrain from putting anything inside the refrigerator before you leave for your destination.
Oh, really?
All right. They're suggesting that you put your refrigerator, turn it on 3 hours before you arrive, because these refrigerators, at least the Furions, they're saying that it's okay to travel down the road with those refrigerators on
Right.
3 hours before you reach your destination, and you should refrain in case you're traveling like back roads or something like that. Okay, but they're saying that you should not have food in there, and this is what I've been doing all along.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then you'd have to carry a separate. I mean, I know you like to carry everything but the kitchen sink, but then you have to carry another separate cooler to put everything in,
Right.
to put it in the refrigerator, and now you just have the cooler there for.
It's no real big deal for me, Daniel,
Yeah.
because I've got this one cooler. It's an igloo cooler.
Yeah.
It's a cubicle style. It's got casters on it.
Yeah.
I could put everything in there. I could toss it inside the RV. So when I do arrive, I just transfer it right into the refrigerator and just park that cooler right on the outside until I'm ready to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, and then put everything in there, and then you're good to go home.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah, maybe, I'm just saying maybe, the fact that I was carrying all these items inside the refrigerator, and, yeah, they weighed a lot because I carried bottled water. I carried numerous bags of ice, a gallon of milk, my creamers for my coffee, condiments. Yeah, all these things do add up. So maybe it was causing that. But anyway, regardless, the repairs are done. They're done right. They're done the way I feel they should have been done in the first place.
Right.
And now I'm not going to have this problem again.
Are you going to load up your refrigerator before you leave? Now that you've done this?
And now I'll load up the cooler. All right.
So you're not going to put it?
Even though I've got the refrigerator reinforced, Daniel, I just may as well go ahead and just for safety's sake, put that in the cooler. It's not going to cost me any more time.
I just thought, because like the way you describe it, I mean, this thing is not going anywhere. This is battle tested and rode hard.
It's not battle tested yet. We'll find out at the end of the 2024 season.
There you go.
For me, Daniel, I cannot see taking my RV for any reason to the dealer.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I know.
It's just not going to work for me. The dealer that I bought the RV from, And I'm not going to mention any names here, Daniel, but yeah, I've had a couple run-ins with them already since purchasing that RV, and I've read some of the horror stories online. From in Yelp and a few other places that did reviews. People have taken their RVs up for repair, and they've sat up there for 5 or 6 months before the repairs were finally complete. I could not do that.
So you've had a run-in with the camper store. Just saying.
Run in with a camper store. Well, I don't mind mentioning to you also, Daniel, that shortly after I bought the RV, that I went ahead and got one of those online home study courses where you learn to repair your own RV.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was wondering how far you've gotten. I
haven't gotten too far, but the neat thing about it is, Daniel, I bought it and I can do this at my own pace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The thing is, folks, if you're going to buy an RV, they're fun to use. They've got to be maintained. And again, learning lesson today, watch this show over again, and you'll see that, you've got to read those manuals.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to read them again. You got to make sure that you do everything right. And, things are going to break down. There's just no two ways around it.
And another thing I would do, I don't know if you've done this, but I would, if I bought a certain trailer, I would look up on YouTube or online, whatever trailer I bought, problems, issues, how to fix. And so you already know what to look out for ahead of time. So, like we've said a million times, the internet is a valuable resource for stuff like that. And, the more the better it's going to be.
Yeah. But, I've got the refrigerator out. I got it put back in. And, tell you what, Daniel, I couldn't be more pleased.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to these get-togethers, are you going to talk to anyone about
the rallies?
This? Yeah, are you going to talk about them?
Of course. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think they should have done that? Because I know that the head of the company and everything comes there, and I would be curious to find out, why did you do this? Was it a weight thing? Was it because you tell them not to put weight in the refrigerator?
Well, Daniel, I got to say this. From everything that I heard about the president of Grand Design, he is very customer-oriented. And when he does go to these rallies, he interacts with a lot of customers, the people that bought their RV. And he's very open-minded. He wants to hear from you.
Yeah.
He wants to hear, what do you think about this, and what do you think could be done better?
Yeah.
All right.
We got a lot of signal.
I don't know if you get that at the post office.
All
right. But, yeah.
It's government, though.
Okay. Yeah. This is, regardless of what happened here, Daniel.
Right.
Right. I am sold on Grand Design.
You are.
It is a beautiful RV. And I'm going to buy another one. Someday down the road, I'm going to probably upgrade. I'm not going to buy from the same dealer, okay? But I'm going to probably go out of town to a mom and pop's, store and buy it from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great RV, Daniel. I am so looking forward to camping in it, and hopefully this year I'm going to get a lot more trips in than I did last year. It's time now for our featured campground of the week, right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. Every time we get to this section of the show, Daniel, I get more pumped up and excited because we're talking about campgrounds.
I'm pumped up now.
Okay. I hope I got you that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go up toward the state of Virginia.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
And you love this part of the town, Daniel. Okay. This is near Henry, Virginia, on Philpott Lake. It's the Horseshoe Point Campground. Yeah, and the Horseshoe Point Campground is nestled on the shores of Philpott Lake in the rugged foothills of Virginia's Blue Ridge Mountains. The park is located in a rural and sparsely populated part of Franklin County. I've been there before, near the small community of Henry. Now, Philpott Lake's clear water and natural shorelines make it a unique place for visitors to enjoy boating, fishing, hiking, picnicking, and campgrounds. And camping, should I say. The park offers both camping and day-use facilities. It's a relatively small campground. 15 campsites with electric and water hookups, and 34 primitive sites. The amenities include the typical flush toilets, showers, drinking water, and a dump station. For additional family-friendly entertainment, they've got a beach, a boat ramp, dock, picnic shelter, and playground. They're also on site. Check out all the information on their website. I'll have a link to it all week long on our website, happycamperradio.com. Over on the right-hand side, just click on the featured campground, and all of this information will come right up. You'll see a whole list of the amenities they have there, including nearby attractions, and make sure you read at the bottom of the page the need to know before you go. All that information is very, very important, including no alcohol allowed at this particular campground. Also, don't forget, don't move firewood. Protect your forest from those tree-killing pests by purchasing your firewood locally and burning it on site. For more information, visit don'tmovefirewood.org, and you can find that also at happycamperradio.com. Actually, Daniel, this is not too far away from home. It's just a couple hours drive. Maybe we can get up there sometime. Hook up your pop-up. I'll hook up my RV. Yeah, and we'll go ahead and go. But if you happen to be in the Virginia area near the town of Franklin or Franklin County, check out this campground. I know you'll enjoy it. It's the Horseshoe Point Campground, and it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel. HappyCamperRadio.com.
And as always, if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, I want you to get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or the guy right here in front of me.
Hey, Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
And with that question, make sure you include a link to the campground website. Daniel, that's going to wrap up today's episode of the Happy Camper Radio Show. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Yes, sir.
And right here on board. Hopefully we don't have any more repairs we have to do before the start of the season.
You'll make it better.
Yeah,
Make
well,
everything
I
better.
definitely will do that. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do exactly as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. We're on the web 24/7. You can find us there at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on X. And by all means.
All moon. New
way
moon.
up there, yeah. Check out 4K, Happy Camper Radio in 4K on our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper. And with that question, friends, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. Catch you next time. This is Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper Radio.